A call from a fake police officer leads to a 3.5-hour strip search and interrogation of a teenage McDonald's employee on April 9th, 2004. The small-town Kentucky high school senior was called into her manager's office and told that a police officer was on the phone and had accused her of being a thief. The manager, completely convinced that the call was legitimate, relayed an ultimatum. The cashier could be searched at the store by the manager or be arrested, taken to jail, and searched there. Tearful and afraid, and apparently without options or friends, the young woman allowed the manager and assistant manager, both also women and not unsympathetic, to lead her into a storeroom where they followed the caller's instructions, ordering her to remove her clothes one item at a time. Naked and with no stolen goods, she was allowed to cover herself with an apron while the manager followed the next set of instructions and bagged her clothes and took them away under the belief that the officer would collect them later for inspection. By this time, the dinner rush had started, and so various employees were swapped in and out to stand guard over the girl, with some consoling her and others refusing to follow the caller's instructions to remove the apron. But no one thought to do anything more. As things got busier and all the employees were needed, the manager called her fiancé to come stand guard over the terrified, innocent girl, who she described as a possible thief. And, well, things took an horrific turn, with the fiancé following almost every lewd and invasive instruction from the caller over a period of hours. Finally, with the dinner rush ending, the fiancé was released from his duty and immediately called a friend saying, "I have done something terribly bad." With the ordeal now entering its third hour, the manager finally became suspicious. The real police quickly confirmed the worst, and upon taking the victim's statement and reviewing the surveillance footage that had captured the entire ordeal, arrested the fiancé on a charge of sexual assault and began the process of tracking down the caller. This call would turn out to be the last of at least 70 other so-called hoax calls to chain restaurants in small towns believed to have been perpetrated by the same person, in which at least a dozen women had suffered similar abuse going back to 1994. Suspicion eventually fell on a Florida-based father of 5 who was tried but acquitted in 2006 thanks in part to the fact that no recording of the calls had been captured. Investigators, though, were at pains to note that the calls stopped after the man's arrest. The fiancé in the Kentucky case pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The manager called off her engagement and was fired from her job, and the McDonald's Corporation was sued on the grounds that it was aware of the hoax calls and had done nothing to lower the risk to its employees. They dragged out the lawsuit, but eventually settled with the victim in 2010 for $1.1 million. Oh, and the whole thing was made into a 2012 film called Compliance, as well as a documentary on Netflix. I think it was in 2022.